Okay. I'm coming to you on a Sunday. I'm humble. I'm wearing a plum hoodie. We should all be good. Shouldn't be no problems, man. Happy Sunday. Okay. Little disclaimer. I love y'all, and y'all are very important. But you know what's even more important? Do you know? Do you want to know? Cheeseburgers. I'm making burgers right now. So I may get up, I may pause, and when I come back, I may forget what I was talking about. But don't worry about that. It's the six path commandments. Six paths dice here. Mr. Lane, if you need me. We here, beloved. I was thinking about the past like an old Pusha T song. And I thought about the agendas that you would push like that 97 knee song. What you fucking with me for? Drake said drop him, get him 50. I post up with the 50 like, what you saying fuck me for? Anyway, six paths dice here. Like I said, I was having some thoughts about the past, and I'm not sure why I thought about this, but I thought about the infamous Supahead interview from 2005. Now, in 2005, I was a young lad graduating high school. I loved Dipset. I wore lots of pink. Back when it was edgy. Always been a trendsetter. And I thought about how engaging, how interesting, and how wild I thought that interview was. So if you're not familiar, Superhead, aka Corinne Steffens, is basically one of the original video vixens from the early 2000s. Now, she was in the Big Pimpin' video, the mystical. She's the girl with the breast from the mystical Danger video. Danger! That. Watch yourself. I know. Man, we should have known. We should have known he was bugged out. Who would think of some shit like that? I remember, I used to get so like uncomfortable in hearing mystical rap. But anyway, so she was a video girl from the early 2000s, and around 2005, she came out with a book. I believe it was called "The Confessions of a Video Vixen," right? So prior to this, as a young man, I never experienced this before, and it was quite interesting to hear her express herself and hear her tell her story, right? Now, what you're about to listen to, I'm going to play two different interviews from Hot 97. They're going to be out of order, but I feel like in order to tell this story about Superhead, because I want to connect the outlook, because this right here, she's the prototype for the intelligent 304, the sophisticated 304, the one that, but again, and this is the power of presentation, how you present ideas and communication. Now, clearly, she was a smart young lady, and again, so much talent is wasted, and so many of us will never see our full potential because we didn't get leadership when we needed it. We didn't get the right information when we needed it, right? So in the second interview, you want to hear her tell a story where she comes from. She's going to talk about her history with guys in the industry and stuff like that. But it takes a twist when her child's father, Kool G Rap, hailing from Queens, New York, I believe. Kool G Rap is a highly esteemed MC in hip hop culture, one of the first inspirations for people like Nas and everyone who came after him, and everyone from around that time in the 90s and stuff like that, right? So Kool G Rap and his wife called a radio station, and now during this interview, Corinne is making it seem as though Kool G Rap is a terrible father. He's a deadbeat. He don't pay for his kids. He owes child support. One second, guys. Put a fork. Six past commandments. Yeah. You wasn't waiting. We was waiting for that. Yeah. Got production inside me. Oh, not like that. No Diddy. I'm gonna get the Diddy too. And men's reaction to what happened with Diddy is a big indicator of the difference in the love that men have and the love that men receive. But more on that later. Also, whatever. Anyway. So In the book, she paints his picture as Cool G Rap being a terrible father. He owes child support, all these different things, right? And then Mad TV style, and then the guards pull up. Cool G Rap and the infamous Mob Barker. Now listen, at the time, maybe I didn't catch it as much, and maybe it's the Mandela effect. I don't remember Corinne sounding so New York, but I just remember Ma Barker was the most New Yorkish chick I have. These accents is crazy. These are the couple of hood bras right here. These are the couple of people who ain't never seen a grass on a lawn. They from New York. They don't know what lawns and backyards look like. Your chopped cheese got to be immaculate to impress them. Don't mind me. I'm eating right now. Eating this shit up. Anywho, but what I thought was what was the most important and most significant thing was this is kind of the beginning of us seeing people who don't have a talent that requires years of practice and dedication. And basically people who provide I don't want to say no value, but people who aren't trying to provide value start being able to get shine and basically monetize a bad attitude and a terrible outlook on life. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that other celebrities have a great outlook on life, but this right here is like the beginning. Hold on a second, guys. This right here was the beginning. Hold on, guys. What I feel was the beginning of, because you gotta realize again, morality will have you thinking that because I think this way, and this is my right from wrong, that other people now. All right, morality goes out the door when a person across from you is saying, "I'm not playing by those rules." So you have to decide for yourself: am I going to engage? Like having a boxing match, and it's like saying, "All right, yo, we gonna box," and right before that they say, "I ain't trying to box with you. I bought knives and pistols and all that shit. I got a grenade. I'm about to throw a grenade at your stupid ass." Morality make you say, "But bro, it's a boxing match. Let's box." They say, "No, I'm going to bomb you, sir." And that's what men don't be understanding about relationships now. You're playing by the rules are for you. All the rules are for you. This woman right here is the beginning of making that kind of thinking more popular and more accepted, because this was someone who was saying, yeah, you know what? When you have relationships, things are supposed to stay private. That's an understanding you have in a relationship. What goes on between us stays between us. She said, F that. I'm putting it in the book and I'm going to get me a bag. When somebody do right by you, when you have children with someone, and when you have any kind of connection with someone to a certain degree, yes, it is expected that you uphold their name when they're not around, especially if you have children together. Despite whatever I go through with my son's mother, you would never see me do no expose or getting in great detail or dissing her or in public or on any platform. I would never monetize any issues that we had or had in the future, not in a way where I'm lying and sensationalizing and stuff like that. These are all expectations you have under morality. And I'm not saying to not have morals, but you have to recognize when you're in a fight. There's no morality in the fight. The best man wins. You do whatever you have to do to win. Because real fights are life or death. Right? So, let me make sure I got my audio. If my audio is not good, I'll be so mad because I've been cooking. All right, cool. Literally and figuratively. So, anywho, what other rules did she break? Also, the unabashed. The unashamedness. This is the beginning of the cavalier, of it being popular to be cavalier. Because you also there was a time when you couldn't call a woman the B word. Why? Because it was disrespectful. And it's based off the idea that she is a lady, or we want to treat her like a respectable person, respectable woman. You don't interact with a man the same way you would interact with a woman, right? So you couldn't call her the B word, and you definitely couldn't say anything even if she was out there very promiscuous, you couldn't call her a hoe to her face. Long time, a few years ago, Sister Goddess made a video saying it was over when chicks stopped being ashamed to be called hoes. And with a situation like Superhead, she wasn't hiding her bodies. She was saying, "Yo, this is what it is. This is who I am." Right? And also, she was finding a way to be accepted. And also, again, there's a lot of power in good communication and intelligent communication. Because listen, she communicated her ideas so eloquently and whatnot that you barely understand. Now, maybe not so much in the first song I'm going to play, but by the time we get to the Tyra Banks portion, you can see she's done this a few times and she's more ready. Hold on, guys. I told y'all from the beginning, the burgers come first. It ain't all about you, beloved. I have to go. 8 minutes. We're doing 8 minutes on each side now. I'll be right back. Relax. I left off at. I'm getting ready to play the one about her mother because we got to start with the mom first. All right. Give me. So, like we were saying before, and what's crazy is women like Superhead became the kind of girl that you would encounter on a regular basis. You got to realize now more than ever, whether women realize it or not, y'all are all kind of taking on this same mindset and same, these same. Don't get me wrong, people will say most of the same shit anyway, but this mindset of I'm the baddest chick, and listen, I call it baddie syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Baddie syndrome is when someone, regardless of how they actually look, how attractive they actually are, they view themselves as being the most attractive, the most desirable. I want to say it's attractive, sexually desirable woman possible, and they want to be someone that is so sexually desirable that they don't have to bring anything else to the table. No substance, no commitment, no values, nothing, no morals, nothing. Just I'm so hot. All right, I got this wig and or weave on. I got these lashes. I got this really bad attitude. You know what I mean? And I'm just ready to go there. And that's what you kind of come across. Again, and not only that, not being ashamed of things about you that aren't good. Like, I don't mind a girl being a little thicker and whatnot. And listen, under the right circumstances, mate, I'm saying, listen, I'll deal with a little mid-sized drawing, right? But you're not gonna come to me tell me that you a fat bitch. I had a girl say that to me. Like, I said, all right, so she was inviting herself on a date with me. Like, she was inviting herself. Like, she was basically asking herself out for me. And what she do? She was like, I said, all right, what kind of food you like? He's like, oh, sure, I like any kind of food. But I'm a fat bitch. And I was just like, oh man. If this is how you starting off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you starting off. Because a woman is a lot like a movie that you haven't seen yet. You haven't even seen you barely seen a trailer. And the trailer is mad mysterious. You know what I'm saying? And you don't really know if it's going to be a horror movie or a rom-com. You know what I'm saying? And like, yo, basically, y'all a bunch of horror movies. The modern woman is becoming a whole horror movie. You got to realize, yo, a lot of times you were a bad experience. It's getting to where, again, this unashamedness shit leads to basically improper handling of human beings. Bad experiences are like having it's like having an accident. It's like having a really bad accident, but not to the point where you can't drive the car anymore. You can fix it, but it's like a car going through accidents. So every bad experience is like an accident. Okay. And yeah, you maybe can still drive the car and everything, but the more bad things happen to a person, the harder it is for them to self-correct. The harder it is for them to trust people, places, and things. That it just affects all their relationships. That's why it's important to avoid unnecessary stress and stuff like that. 1 second. Oh, make sure my thing go off. So anyway, let me play this first clip from y'all. All right. Where is it? Talk with. Oh, this is it right here.
Particular chapter.
Yeah. Guest appearances by some celebrities in the movie of my life.
Okay.
What? That's how I'm gonna say it.
You just can't, right? Go ahead.
You know what?
There are some guest appearances. Half of the book has no.
Let's start from here.
I know where I could begin.
You are going to be on good behavior.
All right.
Young man, we talked about this.
All right.
Don't behave.
Now.
Fair use. Relax.
You talk in the book about the message being, the book is about your trysts and your experiences with several different artists, athletes.
The book is about my
executives.
life, which includes I have some guest appearances by some celebrities in the movie of my life.
Okay.
What? That's how I'm gonna say it.
You just can't, right? Go ahead.
I'm cool.
I don't want to stop what we're doing. We got a good thing going, but I want to stop right there because this is a tactic that modern men have to contend with on a regular basis when communicating with a woman, where she relabels things. Her whole book it didn't inspire nobody. But you're right though. Young girls did read your book, and I'm gonna tell you what they got for your book. What they got for your book is that I can monetize my bad decisions, right? And it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if I need to get some money. It doesn't matter what I have to do to get it. That is the lowest vibration you can be in. That you feel like it doesn't matter what I did to get this money. And you know what? Though, I gotta realize, maybe Supahead's more hip hop than any of us. Because she's the female equivalent of glorifying the dope boy, right? The nigga who sell poor, the nigga who gang bang, right? She hip hop. But again, this is a great example of her excellent communication. She said, this is a story about my life with guest appearances from celebrities and stuff like that. The skullduggery. The first level of deception is to keep trying to convince you that I'm not doing what I'm doing. What she's doing is expose. People are reading it for the gossip, for your involvement with these. Whether you matter what you think about these guys, they're famous for a reason. Don't get me wrong. Even when I was younger, I was like, these some random ass names. What you mean, Coogee Rap? Bobby Brown, that's mad. Wow, it's mad random. Anywho, let's get back to it, guys.
There are some guest appearances. Half of the book has no celebrities in it at all. It's just about my life, and then celebrities come in.
But that's the boring part.
That is not the boring part.
That's the boring part. I am interested in wanting to know if you say in the book that you hate your mom. That's how you start that particular chapter.
Yeah.
Have you had any contact with her recently?
My mother called me recently to tell me, and I hadn't spoken to her in maybe a couple of years. She hung up on me a couple of years ago because I was trying to give her some advice about giving my sister the child support she deserves instead of hogging it for herself and buying stuff for herself. So she hung up on me a couple of years ago, and I haven't spoken to her since. And I refused to, even though she called, because she hung up and she wasn't going to say she was sorry or anything. She just kind of skips over stuff. So anyway, she called me a couple of weeks ago to tell me her uncle had died and blah, 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 and whatever. And I pretended like I cared. And I honestly, I just didn't. And it was really, really sad. And I wish that I did. You know what I mean? I wish that I cared. But, the first thing she should say is, I'm sorry. Or let's talk. There's a talk that we have to have that we've been having to have since I was a little girl, and we haven't had it yet. So if it's not that talk, then we're not going to be talking.
You've gone to therapy, hopefully?
I haven't gone to therapy. Writing this book was my therapy, and I've come out a lot stronger. A lot of things, the confessions part of this book actually has nothing to do with the men and the sex in the book. A lot of things that I wrote in this book, I was discovering as I was writing it. And I just wrote this book the beginning of this year. So a lot of these things are new to me. Right. And I've been working through them with helping other people work through theirs. It's crazy. Talking about what you've been through and writing and being honest with it is the best therapy ever.
Yeah, but it's painful. And sometimes if you don't have a strong, licensed professional
Yeah.
to lean on and
No,
help you
I'm
with the
good.
tools?
I've got people in the church. I've got a lot of people that support me, and they actually help me through everything. So I don't need to pay to get better. I just need to be faithful and have that in
Just
my life.
keep that option open, girl.
Everything is always open. No doors are
open.
closed. But honestly, I'm so good. I'm better than probably most people I've met today. You know what I mean? I'm really good. I'm covered.
All right. Well, I want wait, Ebro, wait.
I'm keeping my mouth shut
All
so
right,
you can have your interview.
Because we had this talk. Now,
All right.
you say you're good. In the book, this took place between the years 2000 and 2000.
The craziness really ended in 2002. That was the end of the Bobby Brown chapter. 2002, early 2003. And
you say you used to call Bobby's house, Whitney's house, because we all know Whitney pays all the bills. Whitney's house while she was there, and she knew of you.
From what I heard, she knew. I was told that she knew. They were separated at the time, whatever that means. I know her father was ill and was dying, and she was in New Jersey with him, and he was left at home alone most of the time for that 6-month period. And so he would find time to come to LA, and that's how we met. I would talk to him when he was at their house in Atlanta.
But the father didn't die until 2004 or the end of 2003.
No. I met Bobby October 2002.
You got a great memory for all them drugs you was taking.
Yeah, well, I wrote everything down.
good
I have journals. I've been journaling since I was 5.
That's
what
I want to know. Did you journal because when you started hitting rock bottom and reaching out to these guys and they didn't help you because you said, I'm going to get these motherfuckers back one day?
Yeah, no one helped me. It's like I was everybody's best thing until I had a problem. And it just taught me like, okay, you're not my friends. And you don't care about me. I care about you. I would do anything for you as I do with all my friends. I'm just that kind of person. But if people aren't your friends for real, when you hit, rock bottom, they're out.
But the problem with that is you didn't care about yourself enough.
I didn't care about myself enough. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Which is why people don't, if you don't love yourself, no one's going to love you, period.
Right.
And I didn't. And so it's like when I hit rock bottom and the same person that would have wrote me a $10,000 check a week before, now that I needed $2,000 to keep my condo going, they were like, nope, sorry.
So you started journaling. You journaled with a different purpose at that point.
At that point, once I was homeless and I had my drug-induced seizure and all these things happened within the same time, and I really had nobody. I was still around, so I needed to get my money to get back on my feet. But in my head, I was like, okay, yeah, I know. Okay, I got you.
All right. I want to let that play for a little bit. I want to give you guys a good idea of like how now at that time, like this was like this it wasn't scary, but it was like, yo, she don't care. This don't even sound crazy at this point. Because you hear every woman talking like this now. Where there's absolutely no shame, and on top of that, it's like the movie Acrimony, which is mostly about this vindictive woman who wants to get revenge on this man, and this whole idea of I don't know, it maybe feeds into the slave master mentality that black women seem to have with black men, because for the most part, when it comes to our relationships, men are required to have pretty much almost 100% compliance, whereas there is no expectation of that with the women, and that's that already lends itself to pretty much an owner, like having the mentality of an owner rather than even having a relationship, because when it comes to your things, right? When it comes to your car, you're not worried about how the car feels. You don't think like, man, this is really dirty. No, the car probably don't like this. Or it's like, oh man, I got these shocks fixed and whatnot. Because the car's, because the car. No, you won't think, you think, I do it when I can do it. Do it when I feel like it. I'll wash it when I feel like it. Right? And if someone was to say to you, hey, you should clean your car, they could suggest it and whatnot, but that could be a whole argument because why? That car belongs to me. Right? If your car breaks down, you don't say, I do be doing like ride share and letting people borrow you and going through the worst roads possible and not really doing any of the work I'm supposed to do in the car. So I understand you broke down. No, the reaction is, I can't believe you. How could you do this to me? Right? Because it's an object. You expect the object to work no matter what. And it's two things I thought was very interesting from that clip. When she spoke about her mother, she talked about her mother. One, she felt as though her mother owes her an apology. Whenever people felt their parents owed them something, it makes them have that contempt with other people where they feel like everyone owes them something. Because again, whatever you don't get from your parents, a lot of times you feel like it's up to the world. The world owes it to you. That's why a person's incubation, not having your mother and father around together and in harmony, it has such a negative impact on how people become people and how they problem solve and whatnot. You know what I mean? Also, how again, if you only got your mother with you a lot of times, you won't develop any sense of right from wrong, or any kind of moral code for yourself, right? So the example she brought up was that she suggests that, she confronted her about how she's using her funds for her child, and that the child needs some of that money. If you want to have a fight with a woman, ask them about sharing some finances with you. That's the last thing you ever want to do, is ever ask, especially a woman like that, about sharing some money with you, or holding them accountable with how they spend that money and allocate those funds, right? And again, going to not apologizing. If you have a mother that never says sorry, it will make you this unnecessarily unapologetic person, because your mother teaches you these social interactions. She teaches you how to be a nice person. When your mom don't do that, you're making a dangerous person, because those are the kind of people, like I said before, they're very rough with how they handle people. They handle people as if they can't be broken. Someone like this right here, she's a person breaker. You break people, So I want to get into that. The next one I want to get into was the confrontation between her and Coogee Rap. No, actually, no, I'm lying. The first part that we're gonna get into again is the language and how she explains these things, right? When I was listening to this interview when I was younger, I was already thinking, like, if you who's reaching out to you? What girls would you be mentoring if you don't do anything? Like, why would you be a mentor to young girls? But like, what young girls know to find you? How do young girls even know who you are? Aside from this, and she made it seem as though she already was like interacting with or doing like some kind of. She made it sound like it was like humanitarian work. And so at that time, I'm young, so I can't really come up with an opinion. Really, it was just so confusing. And again, she's very intelligent. She communicates very well. But you're going to hear her talk about why she made the book and everything. And again, there's a lot of points in the interview where she talks, and this is a common behavior now. Where, and again, this is like this again, social manipulation. If I want to have the upper hand over you, wouldn't it make sense for me to keep trying to convince you and reinforce the idea that I'm more than what I am, that I make more money than I actually do? I have more options than I actually do. I have more knowledge about something than I actually do. This is what you see in this drawing right here. So I'm gonna let this play, and we don't come back.
Business that you shared private moments with these guys. Why?
Well, I was good on money, so that's not what it is. When I started writing this book, I didn't have a deal. I wrote this book for myself. I write on a regular basis. Anyone who knows me knows that I've got journals from years ago, poetry, short stories, blah, blah, blah. And I began to write because I needed to figure out what had happened to me. Like, where did I go wrong? What really happened, starting from when I was born to that time in my life. And so at that point in time, people started coming to me from my website, and little girls asking me questions. I heard that you were raped. So was I. I heard that you were beaten. So was I. I'm a single mom. I'm 16. What do I do? It's questions like that I answer every single last one of them. That's so important to me.
Let's stop right there. I want to let it go for a little bit, but you hear her saying that I had little girls writing to me on my website saying this happened to me. The book didn't come out yet. How would they know that this happened to you? This is her first book. No one knows who she is. Aside from being a video vixen, she's not known for anything else at this point. There's no social media. There's literally no way. This is the first time most people ever heard of her. She even has 2 scenes with Mr. Marcus. Like she's done adult video and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that to say anything bad about her. I'm just saying like look at how convincingly she tells this lie. No one was reaching out to you, ma'am. No one knew who you was. Little girls didn't know who you was. Then like no one saw the video with you in the mystical video and saw your breast and said, "Yo, I need to cut." She got the answers. Your nickname is Supahead, and that time that was crazy.
So when that started happening, I just knew that it wasn't just my story. It's not just me. I'm not the only person going through this. You know what I mean? And so when HarperCollins came to me to publish, it just seemed right and just. And I'm glad that I did because a lot of people are being helped by it. Minus all
the book.
Minus all the other crap that's going on.
And you got some encouragement from Dame Dash, Andre Harrell, and who else was in the book?
Shakem Compare.
And Shakem Latifah's manager. Mm-hmm. They encouraged you they read the journals, obviously.
Well, I just talked to them and knowing them. And I remember the first time, ever telling someone my story, it was Damon. And I called Damon Mr. Wonderful because he looked at me and he goes, "That's a story."
Did you have a sexual relationship with him?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Before or after Jay, or did it matter?
It was years after.
Okay.
Years after, right after Aaliyah died, I believe. And it was brief, but that's not what our relationship was based on. We just became friends and we didn't collide in that way anymore.
How was sex with him, by the way?
I don't remember.
Drugs.
I can't comment on it. I don't remember. It was
in the drug days.
Yeah, no, not even.
Got a good contract.
I was
signed.
good.
That's that.
I was good by then. I was good. I think he was. I don't know where he was.
How was Bobby Brown?
Bobby was a little messy.
Yo, how you think
why am I not surprised?
White crusted lips and all that.
Meaning pee and doodle messy or just what kind of messy?
No, sweaty messy.
Just messy. Just everything you could imagine.
Spit.
To me, everything you could imagine. Oh my gosh. You know how embarrassing it is for someone to get on, especially at this point. She's on, okay, I don't know how old y'all are, but this is Mrs. Mitch Jones in the morning. This is 05. This was the Shade Room. This was Spiritual World all in one. So someone getting somewhere, and this is before people have internet porn, where it's a bunch of it everywhere. We see sex everywhere. Someone saying that sex with you is messy, it sounds crazy. Oh my God, I would die. If someone was on a public platform talking about what's it like to be with me, and not only that, saying negative things at that, she could have said the one positive thing about him. She could have said, I don't know, his hair was never dry. Now, I mean, at least start with that. She got right to it. Messy. Oh God, nasty work.
Drooling out.
Messy.
Ew.
Messy.
Damn.
What was Shaquille? You said in the book was sweaty messy.
I'm gonna go back to the message though.
Right.
I'm wrapping up.
Right. Okay.
So I just want everybody to know though that everything in my book actually happened and was checked by my attorneys and fact checked, and police reports and all those things we have those. I've never thrown away anything, and so. Regardless of what anybody says, regardless of what gripes are coming in, who's upset, it doesn't matter. What really matters in this book, what I'm hearing from the female population.
Ma'am, you have not heard anything from the female population, and you don't have no lawyers. Stop. Again, she knew she was lying. And again, if you want to deceive someone, how do I deceive someone? I deceive them by making them think I'm not doing the thing that I'm actually doing. So my bad. I actually fast forward too far. We're gonna try to get to where she has the confrontation, but I want you guys to hear the recordings that they weave into this video, where you get to hear. So basically, what happens is Coogee Rap and his wife come on, and they're basically saying, these are all lies. And then he said, and then they start. Ma Barker, Coogee Rap's wife, recorded and kept a lot of voicemails and stuff like that for a time like this, and she was able to pull up and send an email them these audio files of these voicemails from Corinne.
Homegirl.
Good morning.
And let me say, me and you know what we talked about. First of all, she hit G on her two-way. She had got G two-way from Chuck or whoever she got it from. She hit G in 2000 or 2001, and she hit him on the two-way like, hey, Pa, I miss you. I want you to come to Cali and see me. He like, yo, for what? Come see you. Yo, I got a wife, boom, boom, boom. So she was like, oh, yeah, me, you, and Satina. So she hunted us down. She got his two-way. And let me tell you how I got her information. She thought she had an address on us for the child support. She sent it to my homegirl house with her whole affidavit of her snitching, talk about, oh, G-Rap has a wife and he's hiding everything on her and her name is this and that. Her social, her date of birth, everything was on there. And ain't nobody run her credit report and all that stupidness she talking. Second of all, I'm going to make it real quick because I'm going to let G talk because homegirl got a vivid imagination. She got a beautiful mind. I mean, when I heard she made this book, Confessions of a Video Pigeon, you know what I'm saying? I already knew about it because she had told me before she did it. Second of all, G told me, he was like, Barker,
Yo, she barred her up. I think this might be off the dome. Let me tell you something. I heard Envy Man make this point about when that older guy went viral for his outfit, you know what I'm saying? And these girls was making fun of his outfit. It turned to a TikTok video and it became this whole debate. Now, if you was a person of a certain age, you could recognize, his fit was fresh. You know what I'm saying? And the girls were saying that ain't it. Every man made a point about women of a certain age. Basically, the woman that's this woman's age right here, that's the last generation of ride or die women where, well, to the point where people can't say what they want to say about you or speak on you in a certain way around them without them basically getting buck. Whereas now, the sentiment is always that, yo, I don't take one that serious. Or if a guy's caught out there in any kind of way, the woman it's acceptable to say, all right, well, I'm going to basically leave at the first sign of trouble. I.e., the subjective concept of red flags. I can say anything's a red flag. I mean, anywho.
Girl is a snake. You trying to be cool with her. I'm telling you, she a snake, but you know me, I'm a cool person. But what I did is I made sure I recorded every conversation we had. So, matter of fact, I think, Ms. Jones, you got some of the audio I sent you.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So, and everybody want to know who Papa is.
And all that resentment she's trying to display on all these talk shows, you hear none of that. When it's a personal one-on-one thing,
we was cool. Yeah, we was cool. We was absolutely cool. I think that Ma's a very nice person. I think G is great. Everybody's great.
No, you wasn't saying. That's why I thought you were doing real.
No,
hold on. Everybody stop.
We do have the
hold on. G, hold on.
We do have the audio. They sent us the audio of the phone calls that you sent.
Oh yeah, and I got more.
81898 2. Received January 16th at 1:52 p.m.
Girl, what up? It's Corinne. Yeah, we got the stuff. Thanks. Jay said thanks. It was just what we needed. And the A-Rex side, and that's just in time too, because his other one he grew out of it, and that was his favorite A-Rex. I got another one, and and the sweatsuit is hot too. Thanks, Mom. Really appreciate it. So Jay said thank you, and I am going to put on his sweatsuit today when we go out. Okay, that's it. Yeah, and the real winter shit is hot too, because we got the face mask and all that. That's hot, because it be cold as shit in the morning. Right. It's just what we needed. Thank you. Appreciate it. Give me a call back. Good night. Bye.
It's like you guys were amicable.
Yeah, we were.
Oh yeah, so
I just said
G's
that.
Such a terrible person. Hold on.
Yeah, you never hear none of this resentment when it's a one-on-one situation with me and homegirl.
Yeah, listen.
I gotta give you the layout. Remember, she was like, oh yeah, she had to blow G into her nosebleed. See, Mama, all the audio should be coming over. You should be getting all of them because I taped every recording. One day, me and G was messing with her on the phone to see how fake she was. So I called her. I'm like, hey, what's up, Korea? I'm like, yeah, you need to come and hang out with me and G. She was like, oh yeah, remember Pa? Remember when I had to say to my nose blade? He didn't make her. He didn't, and I got that on audio.
You seen that out your own mouth, yo.
Yeah,
Wow,
absolutely.
So why would you say that?
I'm trying to get money. The man owe me so much money. I'm trying to figure out where he's at.
New York,
Hold on a minute. The only reason why I was even talking to them is because the state of California is still looking for him. He owes over $200,000 in child support.
Yo, cut it out, yo.
Yes, he does.
G.
Oh, come on. Well, then call California.
I'm trying to figure out if did he force you to do it or were you happy to do it?
Half of the times when I was with him, we wasn't in love with each other. It wasn't that kind of thing. When we was good, we was good.
I didn't force you to do nothing,
What's all
that I kept you from going to school and college, yo? You never had desire.
Every time I had a job, he called my job. Be like, I miss you. Come home. When I worked at the mall at Now West. When I worked at the mall at Now West.
When did you work at the mall with me, yo?
When I at Now West.
You stripped there so you was with me, yo.
And I worked at the mall.
So, you know, we don't got to keep playing that part. But shout out to Ma Bark and shout out to Cool G Rap. And what they were showing, don't get me wrong, I'm not speaking to their whole relationship and nothing like that. But they're in a relationship, and that's how it's supposed to go. Because if someone was talking about a man's woman and whatnot, and it's saying some stuff that's not true, he would jump right out there. He wouldn't be no, yo, I'm out, I'm breaking up with you and stuff like that. Yo, we good. You know what I mean? But what you saw happen was she was trying to monetize. Basically, this was the beginning of basically women doing whatever they. Another part of the baddie mindset is I want to do whatever I can to get what I want, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the consequences are, and that way that makes modern women more and more like Joseph Kony and the Child Rebel Soldiers. That was a big story back around 2011, 2012. Joseph Kony was basically like a terrorist in Africa who had basically all these child soldiers. You know what I mean? That he basically was sending out the war, and they were better soldiers because they were more heartless and they were being raised to be killers early, right? So this was a big story, right? And I bring that up because in a lot of different ways, again, in order for the woman to be able to relate to the children, she has to be able to tap into the mindset. Doesn't mean that she's the child and she shouldn't be respected, right? But again, there's a lot of similarities. A lot of the similarities lie in the lack of empathy. Like empathy doesn't really develop unless the adults around you teach you that. And another thing I'm gonna touch on from earlier when she made the point about her mother, right? Now, her mother was not accountable to the point where that's what she feels her mother's legacy is to her. Whatever interaction you have with your child, that's the legacy you get. That's what you pass on to them. You pass those behaviors on to them, right? And in that regard, right? People just always wind up expressing themselves and seeing relationships based on whatever happened with their parents. So if someone got some heavy resentment for either one of their parents, yo, you can't really date them, and you're never going to have a good relationship. Because that person hasn't gotten over the things that they didn't get from their parents. I was having a conversation about a point I heard on the Angry Man show about men. Men got to understand that whatever it is you need in life, that's very important to you. You got to give it to yourself first and make sure you get it and not take it personal that people don't feel sorry. You are a giant. No one feels sorry for the giant. And Shaq is relevant in both these instances. Because, you know, and even in that clip, right, that I just played, you hear her talking like they didn't have a relationship, saying, oh, we wasn't in love or nothing like that. And, and another thing, too, is going back to the mindset of the world owes you something. And again, that comes from wanting from your parents and them not putting it once maybe in perspective, right? But anyway, and another aspect to it is she says, well, when she's confronted with the truth and confronted with, being asked, why are you lying? Why aren't you telling the truth? Her response is I'm trying to get some money. Now, another level of skullduggery is if you're doing the right thing, right? You want to how do I say it? you know you're aware of your perception and not want your perception to be too bad. So therefore, you find a way to justify whatever you're doing. It's so like even when the first video, she says, I made this book because when things were good, basically I was everyone's favorite thing. Meaning that the guys I was sleeping with would do nice things for me, right? But eventually it stopped. The guys she's talking about, these guys weren't her husband. She's talking about people that she might have just have hung out with a few times. It was never about that. She understood. She's smart enough to know that my story is valuable and I can sell it, right? And I can cash out because it's a cash out. You know what I'm saying? And also, this is the beginning of the cash out mindset. Cash out on that man. Okay? Again, put everything at his expense. Which brings us to, I was going to use this Tyra Banks drum, but you know what? I want to play this real quick.
In 2002 and divorced in 2011. Shaquille O'Neal has responded to revelations made by his ex-wife Shaunie Henderson in her newly released book, Undefeated, Changing the Rules and Winning on My Own Terms. In the book, Henderson candidly admitted that she may never have been in love with the NBA legend. Taking to Instagram, O'Neal, now an NBA studio analyst for TNT, shared his reaction to Henderson's statements. I understand, he wrote, adding, I wouldn't have been in love with me either. Wishing you all the best. All love, Shaq. He further expressed understanding, stating, trust me, I get it. The couple, who married in 2002 and divorced in 2011, shares 4 children together. Henderson detailed the gradual deterioration of their marriage in her book, noting how she initially overlooked the signs of trouble. She described a period where she enjoyed aspects of their life together, but gradually realized the relationship was faltering. Shaquille O'Neal has responded to revelations made by...
All right. One of the reasons why I wanted to connect that story from that past, where we start with Corinne Steffens, aka Supahead, to right now. Actually, no, I might do another video about basically because again, Supahead is fascinating and it's important because I always look at the order of things. Now, whether or not there's a correlation, we don't really know, but one came before the other, right? So Supahead and the way she's talking and acting and moving, this is before social media, but this is the beginning of the sex worker being able to influence the entirety or the majority of women. All right, and a bit of her DNA is in a lot of the thoughts of women. Where again, a sex worker is always trying to cash out. They are like a gambler who knows when to cash out, and they figure, all right, how can I get the most all at one time from this person or this particular thing? They're like a hyper capitalist. You know what I'm saying, in the most mercenary mindset possible. So in her mind, she's never thinking about long term because it's a different dynamic. Y'all are just, it's a whole transaction, right? But these people were never able to speak to thousands of women all at one time. And it's in a woman's nature to always do what is easier and what is most efficient for her and her time. I get it. But in this era, we've seen women get caught up in overplaying a lot of these hands. Right. Anyway, what brings me to this next point is here we are with Shaunie O'Neal. Shaunie O'Neal got mad goddamn kids with Shaq. You got to realize that this is a part of the reason why these kind of women and these kind of stories is another reason why relationships are not happening. Because men want women to the point where we take them in all kinds of ways. While the woman puts a lot of her effort and her work into maintaining control over how you think. She can't control your body physically or really make you do things. But if she can convince you that certain thoughts are bad, then it distracts you and keeps you working on trying to be basically I guess maybe have of a pleasing attitude towards her, right? Anywho, but these kind of stories are showing men that these men, there's no point in getting married. There's no points of committing if this is, and again, these aren't one-offs and anomalies and whatnot. Most women are showing through social media that they'll do all these same things. She have like it makes no sense. Shaunie is married to another man. It makes absolutely no sense for you to be married to another man and you benefit so much from the old Neil name. Like, no, it'd be one thing if, like, I can't even give it a comparison because, like, without Shaq, we wouldn't know who he was. And without Shaq, you would have done none of this stuff. Without Shaq, you would have met the husband you got now. You wouldn't have anything. You would have been a regular chick. And this is, I don't even want to get into that aspect. But I guess the problem what the problem is that the handling of people. We're getting to where the women have no regard for how the things they do affect the men that they involve in their life. Shaq did not ask to be in this book or be mentioned in this book. Shaq is not bothering her whatsoever. She has only benefited from this man. She could have said anything about him. She could have just said, we had a good marriage when times were good, they were good, you know what I'm saying, and regretfully it didn't work out. She chose to say the worst thing she could possibly say, which is, I don't think I ever loved him. And a part of that, again, is the skullduggery. Shaq is in a problem in his life, bro. He's done working. He got money, all right? And I'm saying, you're like, hold on, man. Hold on, Shaq. Let's see where Shaq at, man. Hold on, man. This is the reason why. Hold on. Shaunie put that in the book, Young Girlfriend. Trying to find me his new joint. Oh, you know what? Let me Google. That's why. You see that? I ain't no more pictures. But that's why. That's why, man. As men get older, I was saying this to my boy, I think yesterday, about I wish I would have heard when I was younger that life gets better later. I heard that one time from my grandfather. He said life don't start till you're 40. But he didn't really go too in depth. He just kind of like went on about his day. But anywho, anyway, so I wanted to touch on that, man. Shout out to Supahead, man. I think we're gonna do another few videos on Supahead. I've been wanting to do this breakdown for a second, man. I want to get more into this conversation and how she's she is like the beginning, like the catalyst, I feel, for where we at now. In terms of like the final nails in the coffin for relationships. But anyway, 6 past dice, Mr. Lane. If you need me, please like, share, subscribe, man. Peace. Have a good